Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Game and we are returning to Rule the Waves 3. A couple of years have passed since the last episode, and that is because not much has happened internationally, although a couple of things have happened in the technological space, and I'm very excited to show that to you. Let's go into that in a moment. What has happened internationally is we've lost Borneo. Unfortunately, these guys, there was a rebellion, they declared independence. It's not too bad. It's just Borneo. There isn't even oil here for some reason. Excuse me, although we do have some oil in Burma. The other important bit is we are now allied to Germany, and other than that, there's a an Anglo-French alliance, and we have pretty high tensions with these guys, so I thought that would be a good time to rejoin our little game here as well, because as you can see, most of our forces are in reserve formation, and that is a bit of an issue. Ooh, we still have that training. That's interesting. I thought I'd cancel that. Also, for some reason, this tick box here always gets diminished. Right, let's talk about the technology, and we are of course going to start with the refurbishment of Yashima. You can see we've got a lot of funds, 261 million, and we're making 11 million per turn. That is because I've pretty much deliberately not touched any of these ships in the meantime, because I wanted you guys to be here and see all of the stuff that we can see in the meantime. Right. So, Yamashiro, our main battleship. We're of course going to continue running battleship into the 1950s here, and that is because I think, honestly, so far in the battles, we have seen battleships holding their ground, and carriers were not as decisive as we thought. So, with that being said, let's look at what we can do here. Let's start with the easy bits, the ones that are always, whenever I do a refurbishment, I do first. Firstly, we've got better directors. That is something that you should know. We've never just come around to upgrade them. Secondly, better radar tech. Actually, the UK sold us better radar tech, which we of course took in the meantime, because that's just way too good. Japan has a disadvantage in radar technology, so yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to build that up to level 5, although the current level is only 4. You can future-proof yourself a little bit like that, so that you don't have to put them in dock for that very minor upgrade, so to say. Right, so that's already pretty good. What I also want to do is I want to get more AA directors, and here's the next big issue. I want to do radar directed AA. That's a huge change, and that means your medium AA guns are now radar directed. The flip side of that is that more than 8 are usually really pointless. There are diminishing returns after 4, and 8 is pretty much the maximum that you can reach. I think for a ship this size, we do want to go to the maximum, so even though it's sort of low efficiency, I think that's a good choice. Right, what else can we do then? Here's the other exciting bit. Missiles! We finally got missiles! And we are starting with heavy surface-to-surface missiles. We're going to start with them. We're going to put all of these guys on our ship. They should be in the front here. You can see the missile arcs are a little bit weird because they just go to the front, but I kind of like that. We're also going to get reloads on all of these things, and I think we can only do 1. Yeah, so 1 is the limit that we can do, but just let's just edit that and actually do it. Right, notice that this is using topside load, but the battleship has a bit of topside load available to it, so I think that's good. The total weight of that is around 150 tons, so it's not actually that bad, I think, and looks pretty alright, I think. So yeah, I'm very excited to try these guys out. Other than that, honestly, I think that would already be a decent fit. But here are a couple of things. I noticed that this guy is starting to slow down a little bit, and I think speed is only going to be more important. We also don't have that much weight remaining here, so I'm slightly concerned about that too. And the way to deal with these things is to replace the machinery. That is going to cost us a lot of money, but I think it is worthwhile. Does it make sense to go for diesel? No, it doesn't. So you'd be doing like that. That's already a pretty decent design. Here are a couple of other things, though, that I noted. And that is, we have, I think, let's keep in mind 37 heavy AA. If we go down to caliber 4, that drops a little bit. But with 4-inch guns, we could use autoloaders. And suddenly, that looks much better. So let's double check on... So 37, and we are paying 26 million. That would be a lot more, but also a lot more heavy AA. What if we went to more guys here? 37 million. Let's auto-place these guns. Yeah, honestly, I think that makes a lot of sense. Notice how heavy AA actually goes up if our secondary guns, if our tertiary guns, sorry, are not dual purpose. And the reason for that is that it's difficult for the gunners to distinguish between the fire of the 4-inch shells and the 3-inch shells. If we went to autoloaders, that would go up again. And we could potentially get it up all the way over here. But honestly, I think we're just going to get rid of all of our tertiary guns here and just run with the 16 and 4-inch shells. I think that's not too bad. We can increase the rounds here a little bit. I would love to increase the rounds here. We can actually do that, so that's good. Can have improved main... Can you have improved main guns? Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, yeah, let's you know, if we're going to upgrade her for 62 million, we're going to upgrade her very well indeed. That's huge cost. That's basically a third of the of rebuilding that design completely. And even if we rebuild that, we could probably do a little bit better than we are doing now, due to new hull forms and such. But honestly, I like it. I like it. The Yashima has been doing well for us. So let's save and finish that design over here. Right. That is going to cost us quite some money, and it's going to take us a year. So a year is pretty much the amount of time that we're going to be pretty defenseless here. Let's go to our carriers, because there are interesting things to discover here too. We've got the Isuruju class. These guys are new. I think you haven't seen them in action. They basically finished building just a couple of turns ago. Well, 47, 45. And I just ran a couple of turns until we are getting one more technology. And that technology that I wanted to get is the angled flight deck. That improves the efficiency of air operations, especially of jet aircraft. Speaking of jet aircraft, let's make this thing jet capable. I would love for that to be an automatic sort of graphic thing, but that's not how this game operates. But yeah, notice jet engines, we're now 200 short, we're now 12,000 short. So that means your air capacity goes down very much. How much exactly? A little bit more. We've got 85? 84? Yeah, around 84. So instead of 133 aircraft, we're down to 84 aircraft now. That's fairly significant. And we're also going to increase your radar technology and, of course, your directors. These are the things that I should always do first, otherwise I'm going to forget about them. And I think it also makes sense to get you some autoloaders here. Again, very expensive upgrade, but I think it is worth it. I think it is. Anything else here that we need to do with you? The topside load is a little bit high. Oh yeah, we do want to use radar-directed medium guns. Topside load is much better now. I'm not even sure we could use missile launchers on the carriers. Obviously, I don't want to do that. That would feel just very weird. So I'm not. Yeah, you only have 4-inch guns, but I think that's alright. Yeah, and honestly, this looks fine. Double checking everything, but yeah, okay, let's dial up on the light guns. Honestly, they're not going to be that useful against jet aircraft. Go against them with 50 cals or something like that. We don't need to replace the machinery on these guys. They're pretty new anyway. So we're going to finish that design. We don't want to go to the rebuild dialog because we're going to do that immediately for both ships. Nope. There we go. Rebuild to the new class, and that's fine. Now, these are the two newest aircraft carriers. Fairly modern after their modernization. We also got the Akagi and the Hiruju. I think these would also count as modern. They're reasonably fast, around 30 knots. They've got a reasonable amount of aircraft, so they're currently the first aircraft carrier division. We're probably going to change these to be the second, and the other guys will be the first. But that's for the next thing. Although I do believe that is something that we should potentially do now, because that will affect the training of the division itself. So let's add ships to this. Oh, we can't see. Yeah. Okay, in that case, I'm going to move you here to second carrier division. Command and division. Remove from division. Yes. Assign to division. And that's going to be second carrier fleet. So we've got two four modern aircraft carriers, which we can use in 2 groups of 2, right? Yeah, that makes sense. So Akagi is currently in here. That's alright, I don't want to use this guy completely empty. And then you guys are going to be moved to third carrier flag. There we go. I'm going to change that in the meantime in a bit, but for now, that's what we're going to run. But we're going to change that up soon. Right, so Hiruju and Akagi are also fairly modern. Let's modernize these guys in a similar fashion. So autoloaders, radar-directed guns, better radar technology, angled flight decks, and jet capable, and then just reducing this to the point where we basically match the weight. So you can get 76 aircraft, 4 inches, everything. Oh no, directors, that's also something that we should upgrade. 200 tons remaining, can we get 77? No, we can't. So yeah, that's pretty much going to be it. Let's dial up on the light guns. Again, not that useful, but it's better than nothing. Right, all okay. Save and finish. That is the Hiruju. We're going to rebuild her to that new standard. And something very similar for the Akagi. Radar directed, 8 medium guns. And better radar technology, jet capable and angled flight decks to around, what, 45? No. A little bit more than that. 54. Notice how much how many aircrafts we are losing here, but we do want to get them into the future. Right, here's the big issue though. You've got 5-inch main guns, and I'm thinking, so that's 39. That's 48. I'm thinking this is so much better. And we don't really need the secondary guns. They just give us one more blip here. So honestly, I think we're going to get rid of all of them. That will allow us to carry a couple more aircraft. Yeah, 2 at least. I think that's a worthwhile trade-off. Double check. Yeah, that seems fine. Good. Let's go for it. Akagi also being refurbished here. Now that leaves us with the Hosho classes and the Katori class. The Katori class, I have one issue with her. She is slow. She is super, super slow. She's also becoming obsolete fairly soon at almost 10 years since the last refurbishment. And I don't think it is worthwhile to bring her into the new age. So we're going to mothball her for the next couple of months, just in case war breaks out, so that we have a carrier. But we're not going to keep her on for long. There's a second Katori class, which is already being rebuilt. But I've halted that a long time ago, and I'm not going to continue to do that unless we see that the other guys are going to be finished in about a year. That leaves us with the Hosho class. These guys are our old battleships, our conversions of enemy of battleships, which we can see down here at the... No, sorry, these are not the converted battleships. These are just very small and old aircraft carriers, the earliest one that we've got around, with that weird layout on the main guns. Now, if we convert these guys to jet-capable aircraft, they're going to carry very, very few aircraft indeed, like 28. That's not a lot of aircraft. That is basically definitively not enough to form a strike role. However, here's what I'm thinking. These guys have currently a speed of 27 knots. I think it is worthwhile to use these guys as sort of an escort for our battleship formations, just to provide combat air patrol. If we got 28 light jet engines on them, light jet fighters, I think that would potentially be a good complement there. So let's try to do that. Let's get all of the other stuff, of course, upgraded as we tag along here and know our stuff basically. Right, that's okay-ish to me. The big issue I see with this, firstly, we're not going to give you angled flight decks because I think you're only going to carry light aircraft. In that case, that makes a little bit more sense to me. The big issue I see is the 6-inch guns in casemates here. That's really, really awkward. I'm not sure what you are supposed to do with them. So what we could do is 3.2 million. We could go autoloaders on the 4-inch guns. That would give us 31. What happens if we clear all turrets and ask for a couple of turrets on the wings here? Let's say double turrets. Let's say 4 inches. Dual purpose autoloader. 9, 34, 33. Slightly better design. We're not saving that much weight. Much smaller layout. 9 million. 33 heavy AA. Honestly, I think it's better. Yeah, it is much more expensive, but we do have the money for now. And I think that's good. Let's position them a little bit more sensibly. Like so. I prefer that design. Can we get, let's say, midships? It's fairly expensive. Okay, we're going to go with this and see how far it takes us, basically. Honestly, I think a single firing position is going to be alright here. Can we get to 30? No, by far not. Could go with worse technology on radar, but especially for these guys, if they are supposed to run combat air patrols, I think this is going to be alright. Oh, we can get rid of the director here though. Yeah, but we're very far away from the 30s plane. An engine upgrade would be worthwhile to get up to speed, but then again the speed of our battleships isn't that high either, so if they're only going to be supposed to be there, I think this is going to be alright. Okay, ammo loans is on the low side. That's true. Let's dial that up to at least 160. Let's say 170. There we go. Save and finish. Save and finish. It is. Turrets and turret tops. Yeah, that's okay too. Yeah, we do want to go to the rebuild dialogue. We're going to rebuild you. We're going to also rebuild the other Hosho. And there we go. Right. Let's go back to the battleships. The Sagami class are our primary or our secondary battleships, also in 1st Battle Division. Again, more AA directors, radar guidance, electro-optical stuff, better radar technology. There we go. That's already pretty much what I want to do with you, isn't it? Yeah, that would be okay. On the other hand, engine power. Engine power will need to be replaced. No way around it. And since we are doing that, let's dial up the gun, the ammo here, because we found that was sometimes a little bit too little. Right, and then the question again, what are we going to do with the secondary guns? I think it makes sense to bring them down to 4 inches. Fairly expensive upgrade, especially if we add autoloaders. So from 27 to 35. Let's get rid of these guys. 24 million. If we add more turrets here, it's going to be a pretty expensive upgrade, but I think it is worthwhile. To have these guys up working, I think 4-inch guns are going to be good. And since they are quality 1, they're also going to be better at fending off destroyers and such. Yeah, I think this is good. Oh, what we also of course need to do is add missiles, because they are fun. And we're going to edit your reloads. We're going to give all of these guys reloads, which unfortunately is a lot of clicks, but that is something that you can do. Right. Set rest angle to 180 degrees. So we could be having these guys face backwards. That's interesting. Now what happens if I auto-place that now? Ooh, you are considering that. That's lovely. Nice. Good. Can I edit anything about you? Set rest angle. Let's say, can I say minus? Or can I say 330? Probably 330, right? But it doesn't seem to change anything. So no, okay, that's just optics. And if it's just optics. No, 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 come on. 0. Get me a proper 0. Yeah, okay, fine. Okay, that's much better. Oh, we are a little bit over the weight limit here, so let's dial that back down. But yeah, fairly expensive refit, but I think it is going to get us to the future. Unless, of course, I need to dial down on the light guns here, but that's alright. Sagami is going to be rebuilt, Fuso is going to be rebuilt, and we are going to face a time here at which we are incredibly vulnerable. And I can't even find Fuso anymore. No, that was Fuso. Okay, let's go to Sagami. There we go. Right, that brings us to the Mikasa class. Again, we refurbished these guys relatively recently and gave them new engines, upgraded their speed. So I think that is something that we want to keep. And I don't think it's worthwhile to scrap them yet. Some upgrades here. You have already been upgraded. That all looks good. So missiles it is. And over time, of course, you can add different types of launchers, multiple launchers, with a lot more reloads, different weights and such. But for now, these are sort of the experimental things that we've got, so we're going to work with them. Right, 14-inch caliber guns. I think we have. Can we rebuild you guys into triple turrets? Yeah, we could build you into 10-inch guns in a triple turret. And 10-inch guns are actually slightly better. Let's see about that in a second. 47 AA, if we go down to this, that would become 61. Yeah, I think I dig that idea. Let's refurbish this then in that fashion. Auto place these guys? Yeah. And then the big question is here, if we change the guns, so 15.4 million. If we go down to 10 million and increase the guns here, firstly, would that be legal? No, because you can't be identified as anything legal. Okay, back to 14 inches. Don't change anything about the guns, please. Would have been lovely to downgun them a little bit in number. But yeah. Honestly, I think you guys, can I set your position to be around here? Yeah, I think that looks better. I think it makes a little bit more sense to have the missile sort of in that. You know what? We're actually going to put them a little bit more to the center as well. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Add missiles to that. They're not in vertical launches, but still, I like the idea. Right, am I legal now? Yeah, you are. Lots more secondary guns. We are relying a lot more heavily on 4-inch guns. Just out of curiosity, if we went 3-inch guns, cost would drop, but so would AA capabilities, so no. I think 4-inch guns are fine. They're also better at fending off the enemy. So yeah, that's okay. Nothing else, right? Yeah, I'm not missing anything. So yeah, let's save and finish that. And not open the rebuild dialog because we're going to do that for all of them at the same time. And here we go. We should be losing a lot of money at this point, but with 207 million in the bank, I think that's going to be alright. Good. Let's talk about our heavy cruisers. And some of them are actually considered obsolete already, and that is probably something that we should be looking at. And no. And to be honest, I haven't had a look at that yet. So what do we want to do with you? You've got 8-inch guns. Just out of curiosity, what do our naval guns say? 10-inch guns would be better. 4-inch guns are better. 16-inch guns are better. We're not going to equip you with a 16-inch gun. We could give you single 10-inch guns, but that doesn't feel really right. So I think I like the 8-inch guns. I like the fact that you have 4-inch guns. I would love to get that a little bit better. But let's start with the obvious stuff here first. Okay, that all makes sense, but you have a weight problem. Replace machinery obviously gets rid of that, and I still think it makes sense. We can still add 4 guys here. Not sure whether we want to add reloads, but probably yes. These are ships that we do expect to last for a very long time. I don't think we're going to do that for destroyers, because they're going to be much more vulnerable. And I'm not sure whether they're going to be capable of replacing that. Right, another thing that you can do is do ASW mortars now. I think that is something that we are now capable of doing, although the top side is now a bit of an issue. We can dial this down though, and I still think it's going to be a better design, and it's going to be more capable as an AA platform. At some point we are going to be able to build close-in weapon systems, but for now that's not something that we can do. Right, so honestly, your ASW value, you can't do DC throws, can you? Can't do mines either. Can I give you a torpedo mount? Just out of curiosity, can I? No, only until 7,000. And it would also be a topside requirement, so no. Oh, curiously enough, we can do autoloaders. Although that would cost us 17 million or 16 million to build that, and that is almost the purchase price of these ships. So sorry, no. I like autoloaders; they are fun, but that's a no. Right, but that being said, I think this is a good design. So yeah, let's do it. And we're not going to rebuild all of our ships, but these ones I think we can. Right, there we go. Fantastic. Okay, especially the obsolete ones we should also consider. So let's open this design here. On our light cruisers, 6-inch guns. Very interesting layout indeed. Well, firstly, autoloaders, yes or no? Well, firstly, electro-optical directors. Radar-directed stuff here. Better radar limits for sure. Although I'm not sure whether we actually need level 5. Because notice that this is kind of non-linear. So that's already 40. And on the other hand, it's 40 tons. So it's not that dramatic. Now we've got the secondary guns here, 4-inch guns. Actually already upgraded ones. I like that. The torpedo tubes, if we increase that, I don't think it's worth it. Can give you an ASW mortar. Have a little bit more capability in that regard. You are already also starting to see some engine troubles. That might be a good reason to replace that. If we got your dual purpose 6-inch guns, that'd be no point in that. Again, super expensive to get main guns to be auto-loaded. How about our secondary guns here? Yeah, we can do it. Weight is a bit of an issue. But only a bit. If you got rid of your mines, you'd already be looking much better, wouldn't you? Yeah, but I do think we need to replace the machinery. Let's double check whether diesel... Oh, diesel is actually going to be better. So, that's good, actually. Kind of like it. I would like it more to bring these guys up, but it's fairly expensive. Well, adding a little bit more there makes sense. Oh, but topside limit. Yeah. Still, I think this is a decent upgrade. That will bring these guys way into the future. They are already 20 years old, the hull itself. So that's interesting. Now the big issue is here, I did divert a little bit with the builds here. So we've got 2 different builds. They are not really one and the same. So I don't think I can upgrade this guy. So yeah, there's no upgrade path for you. So we're going to really mothball you because I don't want to care about all of these guys at the same time. Right. Next thing, and that's going to be the last thing here, that so I'm only going to go for the cruisers. The Yoshino, notice that we have a Yoshino 2 class. These are also basically AA cruisers. Very similar loadout. The only difference here is that these guys are diesel engine based, so we could make them a little bit smaller. And I basically built them because I had the task to, and I wanted to do that. So yeah, I think it made sense. But let's again open the rebuild here and do all of the obvious stuff for our AA cruisers. Now, 47, just out of curiosity, we could go up to 62 if we went for smaller caliber guns here. The big issue is, of course, we might potentially get autoloaders on the 5-inch guns. 40 million though, that's fairly expensive. Okay, honestly, maybe you're not subject to, you're not gonna get that much better guns. I think you're gonna get a small upgrade package here. Yeah, I think you are. Get a little bit more, a little bit better directors. Slightly better AA guns. Well, slightly. They're much better radar guided. I can give you the ASW mortars so that you have some anti-submarine warfare capabilities. Start down these guys a little bit. Yeah, I think you're going to go without any mines because the top side is starting to become so crowded. Can I give you missiles? I can. I should have given that to the other light cruisers. Ah, what was a mistake? Now these guys are mostly here to support to support the carrier, so I don't think we actually need these guys. And I don't think we need reloads, but I am going to keep them because I think it makes some sense to have these guys have sort of standoff capabilities for anyone who might be breaking through to the carrier, be able to launch a couple of missiles at them and then try to bugger out. Doesn't sound too bad, does it? The issue is the top side, and there doesn't seem to be that much that we can do about that. This is actually increasing top side, so we are going to keep that around. Could go with a little bit less here. Yeah, we do have a bit of a topside issue. Maybe only go with 2 missiles? Yeah, that seems to work. Your speed is also looking fine. So yeah, I think this is good. You only have 5-inch guns, but still, I think you're still a fairly decent all-rounder. So yeah, all of you guys are going to be rebuilt to that design. I'm just going to finish off on the light cruisers here, on the Yoshino 2 class, because they're going to be subject to something very similar. And that is this. Dum. There we go. Position, down there. Yes, thank you. Right, no mines. If we can get the ASW mortar, that would be lovely. We are way overweight. Anything that we can do about that? I don't think we can. And the topside requirement is actually way too high either as well. I'd like to get much better technology here. The weight is starting to become a true issue here. Now, I don't want to eat into that because that's really your main requirement here. On the other hand, that is way too many rounds per gun. That is still too much load side, top load. Okay, that works. Yeah, that's pretty decent. Save and finish. Good. All of you guys, rebuild. Right. With that being said, I think this episode is getting way too long. So, I think next time around, we're going to go very quickly through the destroyers, see which ones we're going to keep, which ones we might drop, then face the brewing crisis here, hoping to finish our reconstruction as soon as possible. But we will need to see about that. So for now, I say thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Do leave a like, and I hope to see you around next time. Bye bye.